All right, everybody, we are coming to you live from the power of the internet and YouTube. Today is Thursday, November 29th. It's Coffee with Cowlazars and K-Pro with special guests, Davio22 and Copper Dan. What's going on, everybody?
Hello.
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Okay.
YouTube land.
Let me bring it up over here. Take it away, Christy. What are we talking about today?
Technology.
Is it up?
It will
I'm
be.
not
Yeah,
sure.
it'll be up.
Okay, it'll be there. Okay, I won't worry about that then. Okay, so hello everybody. Welcome. I did want to do one special shout out to not only Davio. This is the first time you're with the crew, so we're excited to have you. And Copper Dan, thank you. And Copper Dan is traveling, so there may be some technical difficulties every now and then, but that's okay. We'll roll with it. And Mike, you dug out of those maps. We're excited that you're here and still alive.
It's been an interesting couple of days, but I'm working on it, everybody.
So the big thing that we'll let you know is we're going to jump into content tonight, and then we will talk a little bit about the maps. We have finalized the poker tournament. We have a couple of other just little announcements. So just know that we definitely will discuss all those things, but we kind of want to do, if you knew the flip side, and Sean Dotson, he did a weekly update where he did all kind of the content up front, and then he went to his opinion section at the end, and he always said, this is the part you can drop off if you want to. That's what we're going to do. We're going to do content at the beginning, and then we're going to say, this is the part you can drop off if you're not interested in, and then whatever we're doing, because we always seem to have a project going on now, Mike and I, between maps and coins and other things. Oh my. I want to give just a minute to have everybody introduce themselves. So I'm K-Pro. I have a forum called Hint of Riches. I had a YouTube, but I'm over cleaning Mike's channel, so I won't even talk about that. Copper Dan.
I'm Copper Dan. I'm from Minnesota. I am currently in beautiful Columbus, Ohio at an art show, so I'm in my hotel room. You can find me on Forrest Fenns Marvel Gaze. That's my Facebook site, or email me at copperdan17@gmail.com.
And are those pieces still on eBay, Copper Dan? Are the 80 that you made, are they still available?
There are, and I'm going to go through. We're getting down to about 20 to go. So
okay.
If anyone for Christmas, you better get on it so I can get to you.
Nice. And Davio.
I'm Davio22. I am the reason they call me Davio is because I used to be an audio engineer, and they go, "Hey, audio." So they just kind of made me Davio after a while. I am been a long-time searcher, and I'm really happy to be here. Part of my deal that I do is I do paintings. So we have artists on board out here. Those are the lyrics from what does it say, from the Beatles? Wow, it's really hard to think.
Love is all you need. Would that be it?
All you need is love.
Yeah, all you need is love, right?
Yeah. Simple. So just want to say hi and nice to be here.
And where can people buy your artwork? Is it a website or just email you?
Yeah, go to email me at davidchoffman@hotmail.com, or it'll be on my Davio22 YouTube website, and anything like that. We'll get back to you. We'll make stuff happen, I'm sure.
And you are making some Forrest Fenn videos, right? Davio22 on YouTube.
I have all kind of mixed feelings about that. I've been really alone out where I'm out here in Nevada City, California, near the fires and the great. It's raining like hell out now, and it's terrific. Everybody's really loving the rain. But I really have worn everybody out to talk about the treasure hunt stuff. So I find you guys about the only people I can talk to that don't just see me as bloody nuts. I mean, I've paid people to read the book out loud because it's not on tape. I've done all kinds of stuff to kind of forward myself in this. I kind of treated this like a job for many years. For the last 3 years, since I found some really key information, I've treated this like a job where 40 hours a week I would work on this. So
cool. You can do it.
All right.
Well, Forrest said someone had to put in the work.
Yep.
So when I heard that, I really started thinking, well, what's that mean? And the hardest thing I thought is to constantly change your perception.
Nice.
And that's really something that I'm working on. Perception.
Okay, right? And that's actually going to be our topic tonight. So
you sent me that in the mail. Do you remember, David?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I remember.
That's where I got my book. Mr. Cow gave me this book.
That's right. I remember.
Yeah, and ours all started with a coin. Just look at all these people you've met by just these little things that come up. Okay, now who is the little-known Cowlazar? Who are you, Mike?
You guys know me, or if you don't, My name's Mike. I live in Las Vegas, Nevada. I got a YouTube channel, which you're watching right now, called Cowlazars, or Cowlazars. You can pronounce it either way. And I've done a couple things in the Forrest Fenn community. I had a little coin that was out there for a while, and now we have some maps, which are back here that I'm going through. These are the ones that I need to get out in the mail. And I used to post under MDC 777 on some of the older forums. This is going back a couple years. So I've been around.
Nice. Well, the only announcement that I will make is Super Chat is on and you can subscribe and like. But Mike, I don't know if you noticed, you just made it over 2,000 subscribers.
I did. That's right. I forgot, but I did see that today. I'm at like 2,000. We are like 2004. So yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
Thanks everybody.
So big milestone.
Only
Over
took
2,000.
2 years. That's all.
Hey, quick shout out to Mike. When you're driving 12 hours in a day, when you take your phone and throw it on YouTube and pull up the old Cowlazars videos.
Oh, nice.
I watched vlog #1, and I am just going along, and I'm going to watch all 100 and whatever of them.
It's been a progression. It's definitely been a progression since back then.
Good analysis. I like that. We missed that, you know?
Right.
We would just talk about it. It was good. And the kids, it was fun.
Right. And they'll be back. You know, the kids were over last weekend and they said, how come nobody sends us stuff in the mail anymore? And I said, because we haven't made any videos in so long. So they're going to be over tomorrow. And I said, maybe we'll make a video. So we'll see.
Cool, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So if you have questions about the maps, if you have questions about the poker tournament, we're going to talk about that in about 35, 40 minutes.
At the end of the show.
The show. So we're going to dive into content. And here was our question for the night. Is there a quote out there that has made you scratch your head? Kind of like Mike Try the Wheel, but not quite that advanced. Just something that he's put out either in a scrapbook or somewhere that kind of makes you go, I can't let that go. I think there's a hint there. And here it is. Or what do you think, everyone? Michael Forney.
Hey,
hello.
We got a super chat at $24.99. Thank you, Michael. And he says, hey everyone, first round of drinks on me. Do you know Michael?
Hey,
Michael's the guy that did that. So, I'm sorry. Go on, Copper. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Excited.
No, I was being a smart ass. I was going to ask Mike if he shared all the super chats with his guests.
Yeah, actually, I haven't even. This is the first time we've had guests. So yeah, I think we can do that. I think that's only fair, right? So we can do that.
Well, and Michael is the one that gave the super chat last time to say Davio.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot about that. So is that your friend? You know him, David?
I just met him because he liked my video. I was really amazed anybody actually watched my so disjointed, crazy cooking chili video or something. I mean, it was, and it hit a chord with this young man and or person, I should say, to be PC, and it was great. It's just great to see him suddenly go, put him on TV. Blew me away.
There's friendship happening everywhere. I love it.
Thank you, Michael. Appreciate it.
Well, I just got the watch live now. I was wondering. I think the little notifications are a little delayed right now.
Yeah,
so,
they always are delayed.
Oh, they're delayed. Yeah. They're delayed.
Yeah, mine are usually delayed, but it was 8. Anyway, okay, so here is what I'm going to start to throw out one, and we're going to go around to see, does anybody think that there's any more of a hint here or not? But then if we decide there's not, somebody else can throw one out. I have a whole list of them. You know, we have 8 years of words, and everybody says Forrest has been quiet for a while. What, for like a month? Not even a month. We have plenty of words to go through, and if the chat room has anything they want us to consider, I'm going to throw out my first one to say, here's how I'm interpreting it. What do you think? It is the quote where he said somebody has solved the first 2 clues and then they walked right past the rest. And I might not get exactly the words right, but that's close enough. I think we all remember that one because that one was but here's the thing. I think that now means the first 2 clues are in walking distance of where the final clues are, or the final 7 are. And that, to me, is a little bit of a game changer if that's the case. Maybe I'm interpreting it wrong, but they solved the first 2 clues and then they walked by the rest. It's not too far to walk between clue 2 and clue 7.
The quote is walked right by the rest, not right by the chest, right? You're saying rest with an R? Yeah, I want to make sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think it's a perception that, he starts at 9 and he counts down to 1. You know how on the first line follow the 9 clues? I mean, is he counting down to 1, or are you starting at 1 and you're trying to get to 9? So
Well,
it's a
he said
perception
consecutive,
of,
so I think it's 1 to 9, and there's 9 physical locations. That's mine. I know that's not everybody's, but that's my interpretation.
right, and I agree. I found that he was really aloof in this and unprecise. It's up to your perception of what this could mean. I don't think there's any one answer. And I found that if you go through the clues or that it means this one thing on a Google map in a broad sense, then once you find a key point, then you can go through and then it's only the third line that is relevant. So it's a kind of a code way of deciphering the information he's put out there. I've taken it apart in a very different way. I feel he's putting out several different codes.
Okay, let me give you the exact quote just because it may matter. There are several people that have deciphered the first 2 clues. I don't think they knew it because they walked right on past the treasure chest.
Oh, he did say treasure chest.
He did.
He did say treasure chest. Yes.
Yeah. So
right.
Copper Dan, what do you think?
This I use as I probably use this more than anything in my last solve. I just spent probably 2 months creating. I got it done, and I went to Dale's website and I punched it in, and I was mad at first. I'm like, somebody else has something real similar. But then I went, wait a minute. I want other people to have been close to my solve because somebody was within 200 feet. So you kind of got to use that. You need to use a spot where other people have been.
Well, and I guess the piece that's the aha to me is, does that mean clue 2 and clue 9, where you pick it up, are in walking distance of each other? That's my jump. And I don't know if that's too far of a jump. Is that what that quote could tell us? Or is that too far of an inference, or my perceptual lens is off?
No, I think it's totally possible.
Digging Gypsy, I am on Terry Scant. Let me see where the source is. The person now I need to go back to it.
Because there's so many quotes over the years, they kind of run into each other sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's also the quote about the wheel, fate. Did he say fate? What was the one about the wheel? He said, fate, the seductive something never lured them back, is what I remember. They figured out the first 2 clues, but fate, it never, something like that, never lured them back.
Huh. I don't remember that one.
I'll look that one up, because I think that one's interesting.
Yeah, I'm trying to find, which I had it up just a second ago.
Of course.
So, yeah, now it's on this page somewhere. I've just lost it. So I need to back up to the top.
What you quoted, K-Pro, I found the exact same quote and wrote it down word for word. So unless that's wrong, of course.
There it is. It is from, let me click on it. Illinois Ghost has it as a reference from Dow's site. So it's somewhere on Dow's site.
And what's the full quote?
There were several people that have deciphered the first 2 clues. I don't think they knew it because they walked right on past the treasure chest.
Yep. That's what I got.
Right on
and if
past.
You look at that, does that mean to decipher the first 2 clues? Well, we don't know how many 200. I don't want to get into 200 footer debate.
Well,
so
I think the question is, do you take him literally in what he said? When he said walked right past, does that literally mean they walked right past the treasure chest? And he said the first 2 clues. So at clue 2, can you see the treasure chest? That would be, if you're taking it literally, for me to walk past it, I've got to be able to see it. It's hidden. I don't know what's there, but it's within sight. I don't know if I would take them literally or not, because there's still 7 more clues we've got to figure out. And I personally think they're landmarks, 7 different landmarks that we actually walk to or go to in some way. So I don't know if I would take it literally or not.
Well, and that's the hard part too, because when he did a clarification, I think there was a lot of drama happening a few years ago. I think these come in spurts, and he gave 9 points for us to consider. And one was like, I do not give hints to anybody, and I do not this, and I do not that. And the 9th point was, I reserve the right to be wrong once in a while. And I thought, is that a way that he could just say some of these things that make us go down rabbit holes for hours? And then he's just like, well, maybe that was one of the wrong ones, which drives me crazy. And Mike, I didn't send Forrest this. Can you send Forrest the link real quick? Sorry, I forgot.
Okay, I will. All right.
And
yes, I think he is breeding rabbits.
I know, and that makes him a stinker, and I don't like that. No more of that, Forrest. So if he could like put a little spawn.
creativity, right? It's part of the juice. It's part of the stone soup we're creating here. It's I see this as like it's all post-it notes, right? So you get a little hint of something. You don't know where in the 9 or 15 or however many there are, right? But you've got this little part, and you just keep collecting these parts until there's some kind of continuity or contiguous flow from one point to another, and then you actually feel like you're progressing. That's the only way I would have been.
Then the combinations become exponential, and it's like then you have 27 billion different options, and that's why after 8 years, nobody's close. Or of course we're all close, but no one else is, kind of thing. Okay, so that's the first one. Now, did you guys have one? Because I have plenty. Is there one that is just stuck in your craw that you want to throw out as one that has just made you go, and you're willing to discuss, Davio? And
I'll discuss this one thing, which is super critical, a global observation of the book. Okay, what is missing? This is the golden age of baseball. He doesn't talk about it. He barely mentions radio. This is the golden age of all these things. Golden age. Key word there, isn't it, right? I mean, many golden ages happen, and he doesn't talk about any of them. He has red printing in the book, but yet he mentions no baseball. I find all that fascinating. Why is there not timestamps on every chapter? I would think that there's some kind of relevance in that. The absence of a timestamp says absence.
What about all those postmarks?
Do you mean?
That's what I mean.
Yeah, he means the postmarks. Yeah,
exactly.
Gotcha. So they're not in every chapter. Is that what you're saying?
That's right. And that's why I made my own glossary. And from creating your own glossary, you're able to find out a lot of what's not being said. And in the absence of information is a lot of information.
Because there's also no index in the book. He doesn't list the chapters.
Boom.
Right.
So he's forcing us to start everything on page A4. I mean, it's capital A, right? First page, and then it's page 4.
So you said a lot there. So let's unpack a little bit of that. So let's talk about postmarks. So I will tell you, for me, I have not, I went down the postmark, what I call now a rabbit hole, with probably a month worth of research, probably a couple hundred hours. And I decided I just didn't think that was it. But I don't discount anything. Absolutely. I just don't. It's kind of like the map. Some people are like, I know there's a hint in those maps. I do not believe Forrest put maps on eBay to put the hints, and that's how you decipher this poem. Even though we bought them. So, I mean, I would love it if that happened. But so I'm not a believer in the postmarks, but Copper Dan, what do you think?
I went down the rabbit hole. I can't find anything in it myself. It's just too difficult. I don't, and I think what Forrest said is he made this so the average redneck can solve it. I just don't think he would have made it that difficult. But then in years, no one's found it. So
I believe that's how I operated for so long. And that got me so frustrated because I had this assumption, well, it's just, you find the blaze, look in the boom. It's just, no, it's bloody layers. And I really didn't want to be this involved in this bloody thing as much as I got into it. And then I got past a tipping point where I said, well, I just can't stop now. And so then I just committed. But I find that he's really presented it like, well, if you just figure this out, then you'll be just right there. No, that's clearly that's not what's happening. And that's why it hasn't been found. There's so many layers. It's the only thing I can compare this to is, that TV show Fake or Fortune, where they're trying to they look at a painting and they try to figure out if it's real or not. And how they go through the investigative research of that painting is a lot like what it is to do this search.
Huh. That's probably how Sean Martinez, I have no idea, but I wonder if that's how Sean Martinez.
Yeah, Sean the detective guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And when he says things like it took him 15 years to write the poem, I mean, why is that? If it was simple, it seems to me it wouldn't take so long. So there is something going on here, I think, that we're missing.
Okay, I'm trying to go on Jenny's site because Diggin' Gypsy is like the resource queen of the world. And she says there's a different quote that is on Jenny's site. And I looked at the link, but oh my gosh, there is so much on this one that I don't know.
Yeah, and I'm looking at it as well.
Okay, well, I'm going to keep going, but I'll keep looking at that because thank you, Marty Diggin' Gypsy, for coming up yet again with some specific data that will always help us. Okay, let me throw out another one that, or Copper Dan, do you have one, or do you want me to throw out another?
I think this is one that I found that I've kind of used. I don't know if I think kids have an advantage. Don't ask me to explain that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
That was good.
I don't know where to go with that. I have some ideas and I've tried to work them into a solve, but I think there is definitely something there. There's a there there.
There's a there there.
That's right.
Well, and how many of us, especially those of you that are parents in the room, have given the poem then to your child? And I have two. So my 9-year-old son, well, actually he was 6 at the time. And every year I try not to bombard him, but every year I'll just say, walk through this with me. And my 11-year-old daughter, who was 8, 9 at the time. That's the first thing I did when I saw that quote. But I do think there's a there, but that's one I as well.
My daughter read the book and she actually had a question, and I actually emailed Forrest with the question. And the question was, of all your teachers, why did you talk about Mrs. Ford? Of all his teachers, he talked about one teacher, and
the Spanish teacher, right?
The Spanish teacher,
mm-hmm.
and so that created a rabbit hole for me. But I got his email. I can't pull it up the way we're doing this right now, but he got back to me in typical, Forrest Fenn. It was not there was nothing there.
Yeah. Well, nothing there that we can figure out, right?
Give it to children and tell them to look for certain words. Like, look how the word and. See how the word and lines up and down on this?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's just like sheet music. Isn't that interesting?
Okay, now so since we have 2 artists in the room, do you think that's specialized knowledge? Because I think, Davio, it was you that we've done some music, or there's a searcher that sends me music. So I think, and I have to tell you, that is not my world at all. And I just thought, how specialized is that, in my opinion? But it could be just so basic to somebody that knows music. So
right.
That's where I get where they've like put the poem into the music sheet and you play it backwards or something.
Or that it just references music, just that it says music, not a specific song, but then it means music. I mean, think about it. When you're not going to find a water temperature difference in the world. You're going to walk around and keep your foot in water and say, well, that's where the warm water halts. That's not going to happen. That's where cool water begins. And that's a really big song. Cool water. Have you heard of it? Big Lebowski?
Oh, is that right? I'm trying to think. I love the Big Lebowski.
It was one of the movies, but lately it's in that movie on Netflix, the something kid, the cowboy movie. It's Cool Water, sung by, and here's a great name, Sons of the Pioneers. Roy Rogers.
There's so many different ways you can go, though. I just don't know. I mean, there's so many rabbit holes.
Roy Rogers. I mean, sure, Hopalong Cassidy, but he was a freaking dork. Roy Rogers was the cool guy, right? He was the one you hung out with. So I think he's playing with those. I mean, he talks about Hopalong Cassidy and the black hats, right? And there he is with his hat right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's talking about that. And that page that he's wearing that hat has that word that. So I think the word that, T-H-A-T, is really as important as the word and. And he plays with these words in certain locations. And
does El Vado mean Ford in Spanish?
Say what?
Somebody says, Scott Conway says, I was told El Vado means Ford. Is that true?
I thought it meant father. Do I have that wrong? I've actually thought it meant father. I could be wrong.
Let's ask Copper Dan.
Let me pull up Google Translate over here.
Is Spanish specialized knowledge?
Right, there you go. Not for Mexicans.
I think that word, that whole term of specialized knowledge is...
And because rednecks live in the South and they're by the border, that wouldn't be specialized knowledge for rednecks, would it?
Really? Okay, I think we've gone right over there.
Wow.
Okay.
Yes.
The ideas.
Ford in Spanish is Vado.
Vado.
There we go.
So El Vado would be the Ford?
Yeah, means the Ford.
But teacher's name.
So wait a minute. El Vado Dam, the map, it means the Ford Dam. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
Or maybe something.
Alvado Dam was named. It means the crossing. Because there was a spot. There's a spot in the Chama River that was shallow enough, or that's where the Spanish Trail went up, and that's where they crossed.
Okay.
Not that I know anything about it.
Yeah, not that you've been there 15 times or anything.
Not that I've read pages and pages.
It's a car.
Everybody take off.
It's a car.
Go, go, go.
All right, so here's one, and because I got maps on the brain, I'll just bring this one up. So you know how Forrest says there was an unintended clue in Too Far to Walk? But I'm looking on Jenny's site, and this is what made me remember this, is he says he didn't know it was there until after it was printed, and he says it's an important one if you can find it. Now, a lot of people think it's because Canada was cut off the map, but why would he say if you can find it? That's obvious. If he puts out a map that says the highlighted area, well, obviously it's not in Canada. So that tells me there's something else in Too Far to Walk that was the unintended clue, because it says if you can find it, if you realize what it is. So just something to throw out there. Maybe we could do a future vlog on that, but the if you can find it makes me think it's not the map. It's actually in the book. But I know some other people may have thought the same thing.
I did what Copper Dan's doing, and I started on number 1. I think I'm only on number 3 right now. And it's like number 2, you say it's absolutely the map. So you have evolved over 117 vlogs. Like your vlog 2, is it somewhere on that map?
I didn't say the unintended clue was the map, did I?
I don't remember the.
Yeah, it's been 2 years. I don't know either. But maybe we'll make a new video about that.
Circle. You know what? Maybe going back to each of the videos to see which ones you now think of differently.
That's true.
Because you're also talking about New Mexico and how.
Then that's totally changed, and that's why I said it's a progression. I mean, you kind of progress through the chase. I think you have to. You can't be stuck in the same area forever. You can put a lot of time and effort into it, but at some point, I think you got to say, okay, maybe it's not there, and you come up with a new idea.
Right. Changing your mind is what's hard, because people hang on to their search solved like a belief, and they really hang on to it because I really thought about this, and it's
right.
This is where it is. This is where it is. With no evidence, with no key word, as it were, that binds everything together in a cohesive manner.
Right.
Well, I've had 3 solves in now. This will be my 4th search season, and excellent. One of them was not mine. One of them I took from someone else, and we partnered up. But 2 of them were mine. So 2 basically over 3 years. And I've been accused of being a serial jumper, and I'm like, 2? I've had 2 in that amount of time. But I'm open. But I do want to. But the last solve that I had, the Nez Perce Trail solve, it was an 18-month commitment. But then I finally just looked at. Actually, I shared it with 2 people, and I said, tell me, is this off? And they said critical error, and they each had a different one. And I went, you know what? You're right. I'm going to scrap it and move on. And actually the one, it was Cynthia. She's like, don't scrap the whole thing, but just try to get around this. And I was like, it's too critical. It was the pinnacle piece of what made it go a certain way. And I'm like, I just decided to go against it. So wait, I saw Jonesy way back. Cowlazars, you said 15 years. You ever think all or some of the clues may actually be the same place as it changed over the course of 15 years? So different clues because the place itself changed.
No.
But how would that help us, though?
Interesting.
Then we have to go back in time and realize what that clue is from years ago. I don't know how we would do that.
And you got to put in the time to do it. I mean, it sounds so. I have no idea if it could work, but what an interesting question. What if the 1953 map shows something different than the 2002 map?
But for that to work, we have to find what he's referring to that would make us understand what those clues are. Now, maybe that's the good map that he's talking about.
The biggest change has happened since Forrest has put this box into the world is what happened in 2015 on the double eagle coin. It now has cleared the courts, and if you find this coin, you get to keep it. But Forrest put the box in the ground, 08, 09, 010, whenever that was, you would have to give this coin back to the federal government.
If you find it, right? I've heard about that.
Right. So I thought this is exactly how he would tell the world the box has been found, because this would just hit the media like crazy. This is the most wanted coin on the planet. And I could just see Forrest, trading paintings for coins from senators and all the people, I mean, bloody hell, he knows a lot of people that would potentially have this coin. 2 of them, which is what I think page 99 is referring to as the bombs. I think it's these 2. It refers to these 2. They're double eagles for the 2 times he got shot down. And I think that's part of what he's hinting about with this whole, I think that's how the world would find out. I think there's clues in and around that as well.
Well, okay, so that'll jump to something that I am fascinated with, and there's not a huge amount of information out there. I wish there was more, but the contents of the chest, the
Oh,
number
yeah.
of the number of
Mystery.
number of those coins. Why did he
Right.
pick? What was it? 265. Why did he pick that?
Right.
Why not 10 less, 10 more? Is there a hint in there? And now
Right.
this is where I'm starting to feel like, okay, there's a hint in everything. He sneezed today, and I think it's a hint. But genuinely, the contents, do we think that the content show, and is that why there's such limited information out about the contents? There's that one picture of the well-packed treasure chest. Other than that, and then there's the one that's closed. Other than that, there's not a lot of information. Why not? I mean, the only thing I can think of is worrying about counterfeiting and someone trying to trick him, but he's never tricked. So why doesn't he have more information on the contents of the chest out there and more discussion about contents of the chest out there from the search community?
Well, the inventory, I think, is a clue. I think all of the inventory that's in there is significant. There's only one piece of silver, the silver bracelet, which is based all around this story of a game of pool. And he talks about the Harvey houses. The Harvey houses were the train stops all along, every 100 miles there's a Harvey house. This is where people, there was a musical that, who sang Over the Rainbow? Who sang that?
Judy Garland.
Judy Garland.
Yeah.
She
Judy
starred
Garland.
as a Harvey girl. She was a star in the Harvey Girls of the Harvey houses. So the pool table is significant. The fact that the bracelet is a C, just like the moon is silver for, the moon and silver are the same icon.
So you think
So
he
he's got a silver bracelet
designed
with, what,
all
22
this?
bracelets?
Okay.
Yes, all
So
of that.
that's a lot then. I mean, but that would explain the 15 years.
Why is he looking back to show you the back?
Oh, that's pretty interesting.
When he talks about real kid-like clues, that's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. Real, like, obvious in your face kind of stuff. He's got 3 pictures overlaying each other.
Well, you turn it upside down, and that might
the
show
map,
the gold
maybe.
coins and all that. Yeah.
In Montana, yeah.
Now, Rocky Top Wrangler says, I believe in an early interview, he said 230 coins. For the vets in the room, is that true? I haven't heard that.
Whatever the inventory is in here, right? The inventory is in here.
Right, but not explicitly. So, I mean, he said there's one surprise in there. Does that give us something? What do you say, Copper Dan? Contents of the chest, do they help us? Can they give us a hint? Can they give us something?
No.
Not at all.
No, I didn't.
In summary,
I don't see any way how it could.
Well, Jonesy just published something in the chat room. She said that Forrest Fenn's dad was president of the Numismatic Club in Texas, which is coins, people that collect coins. So I never heard that before. That's pretty cool, if true, Jonesy. And where did you hear that from? But yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, he definitely knows coins, if that's the case.
She's a researcher. Her and Dick and Gypsy, they have research.
Researchers, huh?
It's like boom, off the cuff. I love it. Okay, so we talked about content. So let's
talk about simplify. That's what we're not doing.
Yeah, right.
That to me is simple because you're just looking at pictures. To me, that seems simple. While complicated in concept, it's simple in visual, which is the difference in child and not child.
Now, I take this a little differently because I remember when this quote actually came out because I was in the chase at this time. And I remember the forum were doing some crazy things. They were cutting up pages of their maps and putting them together. One was like putting lemon juice on National Treasure and then putting a hair dryer to it. Cool. And then some of these super advanced codes. And all of us were talking about it each night. And I just remember thinking, if this is how you do it, I'm out. And he came up with this simplifying, and I took it as, and kind of he's talking to me kind of thing, like, no, it's not all this crazy stuff, like simplify, like figure it out and then get out into the wilderness and find 9 locations. And so that's how I took it, because I just remember on the forums during that time, how ridiculous, in my opinion, some of the techniques that were happening were, I mean, there were some things that just were so off the wall to me that I thought, and it was all at once. It was like there was something in the water. And so that's what I took simplify. So maybe it was more global, but I took it specifically because I do think he looks at the forums, not every single one and every single thing, but I think he looks at them and sometimes goes, ay, guys, get back in the box.
And what has Forrest always said? Go back to the poem. He said, I've said it so many times, I don't want to say it anymore. Go back to the poem. So in order to simplify with the poem, I mean, is it really that simple that you need to find a warm water, physical body of warm water, and you go where it halts and see if the rest of the clues line up? I would hope there's a way we know we have the right one before we go. And I don't know if that's the
And I
case or
think
not.
they're absolutely that. I think exactly once you find something like try the wheel, something cracked it, and then it is you find the WWWH there, and then it's just easy from there. And he says like it gets easier after you find. I mean, it's all about the WWWH. So
Right.
I think absolutely that's the case.
Well, he
So-
talks about that bracelet, right? So a pool table has got to be kind of important. So I found a drawing in the poem right there that if you highlight these particular, the GO in gold, you're having an absence of a hole in the pool table. So he's talking about one particular pocket. This is a way of getting you to talk about a certain thing. Well, on page 14, right next to the page that's got the big, crazy, bold lettering, is the first two words are pocket. So I think there's ways of hinting around to telling you where things are by looking at the absence of information, using drawings. I mean, I can't help but use drawings. There's a whole bunch of drawings in here.
And I know that that's kind of why must I go. He really thinks that the poem you use on the book in order to reveal, isn't that right? That reveals certain messages, or somehow he's using the poem as a code to know where to go in the book. I think I have that right, but I'm sure he'll correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, I know that was his thing, is he thinks there's hidden messages in the book.
He's forcing us into page 4. We're missing.
But Forrest has said you absolutely don't need the book. The book is helpful with subtle hints, but he's made it clear that, and he only put certain chapters online for those rednecks that can't afford it. I don't think you absolutely need. I actually think TTOCC hurts more than helps now that I've read it and gone down bunny holes.
I look at it as you don't need the book because the poem is the 9 clues. But if I can't figure out where warm waters halt, then I need the book. I need those hints to help me figure out where warm waters halt. I hope that's how it's designed anyway.
He actually said, somebody asked him, could you use just the poem? He said it's just, he more or less said it not likely. You're probably going to need the book so you understand the context of the poem.
What are the warm waters that he's talking about? Right.
166 words times 2, which is steps, 365.2. I mean, is that a coincidence? I mean, it's interesting that we have 150 pages. If you put that on a compass, you are starting to get pages or chapters that are lining up to degrees on a compass. There are 6 big paragraphs. There is a mountain range. There's a bunch of stuff that you can look at on the poem in itself that will bring you closer to different places, but it's all in context to the timing. For instance, if you were to understand the last bit of the poem, you mean you've got it down, it's this thing and that, and it's right there. It will not help you unless you're standing in that 300-foot area that it's relevant to. I mean,
but that's the one thing I will say. None of us have done that, so that's why we look at it and we say we kind of, and that's why I never want to rule anything out. But some of the things that I see, I think, ooh, that's a little too far for my imagination.
Exactly.
And like someone is in the book, or someone is in the chat saying you do not need the book. Someone else is saying you do need the book, and then somebody else said no one knows what the most important clue is. Forrest does. He does. He's
here's something that's directly pointed to Dan. When you're an artist, you listen to nobody. You do your thing because you know.
Except your wife.
What? Well, I'm not married, but I can do that. You're absolutely right, Mr. Man. Whatever the wife says. But I'm saying that as an artist, I mean, if you're going to write a song, why I got to ask everybody's opinion about my song? No, piss off. I'm writing this song later, dude. Yeah, I'm going to write a song and it's going to sound like this. I don't care if you like it because this is what I like. Right. I'm going to put this out because it communicates love and it says what I want to say. I'm going to write a book that's going to take me 15 years because I think I'm going to die and I want to drive everybody crazy over whatever hundreds of years to try to find this thing. Genius move. I mean, I think you could actually, from what I've seen in this book, you could take it apart and make this a college course.
Hey, a college course. There's an idea. That's interesting. There's a college out there somewhere that would do it.
Yeah, I think this is the format. In other words, I think if somebody finds if I was to find this, I would definitely keep this game going.
Right. I would too.
Because and just put out, a different kind of a show to kind of get your creative juices going. I mean, you really need to have words to describe art to go forward. I mean, Dan knows that when he shows his art in front of somebody, they're stymied. The Americans have no vocabulary for art. We just have little lame comments and thumbs up. There's no vocabulary for.
But let me throw out the opposite, Davio. Paul Ammons throws out. It seems like the more one talks about the search, the more complicated the more they complicate the problem.
Well, there's talking. There's just talking. It's just throwing out words. It's kind of like. It's like hearing music. There are some notes you want to hear in that song and some notes you don't like. There's some things in Monet you might it looks too like candy and you want to throw up, or you're a Picasso person. I mean, it's kind of like it's just taking in parts, and you have to see where these parts land in this crazy abstract. I mean, if you understand Guernica from Picasso, you have a chance in this, because I mean, it's really.
But isn't that all subjective? Because you may see Picasso different than I do. It's all subjective, right? That's the problem. That's the part I don't like, because I might not see what Forrest Fenn saw when he wrote the poem and saw those clues. I might not get it at all. Even when somebody lays it out and says this was the solution, I could be there scratching my head going, "What? That doesn't make any sense." I hope that's not it.
Redneck that's in this hunt that he's saying that's who he wants to solve it. So you think it's like some art? Yeah, like Decoy. Decoy is going to be a little disappointed because the Decoys of the world probably are not as well versed as some other demographic in those areas, don't you think?
I agree, and I don't think there's just one way to get to the location. Okay, I have found that I felt like I got to this place and I didn't realize where I was based on subtext in the book, and then only after I went home and looked at my video did I realize, oh my God, I think I was in the actual correct place, and I showed it to a bunch of people. So what I'm saying is I think it's possible to get to this location about 4 different ways. One is highly technical. Go on.
Maybe there's 9 different ways.
Hey, 9 clues.
Different ways.
So Dan, you got a question from the chat room from Scott Conway. He said, Copper Dan, if you've been to El Vado Lake, then you've been past Heron Lake, correct? I guess that's a question to you. Heron, is it Heron? Yeah. Is that right? That's a yes? Okay, I don't know why he asked it, but that's what he asked of you.
It's all right in the same neighborhood.
Area? Okay.
Area, yep.
Yes, that is okay. I actually had one quote that I just want to throw out there. I don't think we're going to have enough time to discuss all of it, but one that actually 2 searchers brought to me. So once a couple searchers bring it to me, I went and looked at it, and I feel okay sharing because so many, more than one, has shared it with me. So he gave the quote of, if you don't have it all figured out, stay home and play canasta. Or if you don't go with confidence, stay home and play canasta.
If you don't have the first clue figured out, right, you may as well stay home and play canasta.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Blah, blah, blah,
all right, that's the important part. Okay.
The important word for me was canasta. And why did he say canasta and not checkers and not poker or not, watching
spades,
a hill, whatever?
Because it's a shovel. So, ties in. Go ahead. Sorry.
So everyone, there's a homework assignment. Go and look up a guy named Chan Canasta, C-H-A-N, Canasta. He was a famous magician in the 60s. He became an artist. I don't know if there is a connection there with his art, but he has about an 8-minute video. It's too long to show here, about how through his persuasion he is able to get people to pick selected cards and see cards the way that he wants them seen. He also has a way to get words out of a book. I don't think that one's it as much, but he has 2 famous tricks that he does. I just think it's interesting, so I throw that out to. And there might be nothing to it at all, so you don't. I mean, it may be nothing. So it's up to you to look at it. But yes, the only important part of that quote was canasta. That was the only reason. I'm sorry to the chat room that's upset that I didn't have the entire quote, but the only word important there was canasta, and that's why it wasn't as critical to me to get the entire quote. So just go and look at that if.
So you think he wanted us to look up Canasta the magician? That's what you're saying?
I do. I think there's something to how he did that, how Chan Canasta does that, and how we're supposed to decipher the poem. Something. I haven't figured out what it is, but I've looked at that trick several times, and he has several offshoots of the trick that
So in other
I don't
words, he
know.
knows the card you pick. The magic trick is that he already knows ahead of time what card you're going to pick.
I don't know how he does
Oh.
it, so I don't
Well,
think
no,
so
but
because
okay.
how he does it is so odd that I don't see how he knows it beforehand. It has to be after the fact because he did two different decks out at sometimes. He's like, here, you take this one, I'll take this one, so I can't know. And he's, you know what? He needs to go on that Penn and Teller show of like, how did we solve it?
Fool us,
Because
yeah.
there's something, yeah, fool us. So.
I'll have to watch the videos then. I'd never heard of him before. Canasta.
Yeah.
Is Canasta a game Forrest would have played? Is it an older game? Because I've never played it.
I don't know the game either. So.
Okay, growing up, anytime I went and visited my grandma, that was
Canasta.
about 30 years ago. We played Canasta. So
And gin rummy, right? Canasta, gin rummy.
I played
Yeah.
gin rummy, not Canasta.
Okay,
yeah.
it's similar.
similar?
So,
Okay.
but you have to play with like 4 decks. I don't remember all the rules, but I do remember play. I did play with my grandma. She loved that game. So maybe same generation.
I looked online and it's similar in the suiting up cards and stuff like that. I thought that was interesting.
Well, the heck with the poker tournament. Maybe we should have a Canasta tournament.
Oh no.
Hey.
Oh no. Oh no.
Page five.
Let's
Page
not
Good
go that
idea.
far. But, okay,
Page
so we
five.
have one more from the chat room, and then we're going to get on to some of the fun stuff. Deep thinking treasure searcher. Here's a quote from Forrest. I wish I could have lived to do the things I was attributed to. And I think that's a perfect quote for some of the discussion going on right now with is
That's
Forrest
right.
Fenn E.B. Cooper? Has Forrest Fenn
That's
given
funny.
super secret hints to people and made the chase? No, I think that absolutely goes to, I think a lot of people have imagination for miles and they attribute a lot of things to him that I think he has a pretty colorful, wonderful life, but I don't think he's done some of the things that I know people have said he's done with me, like, oh, here's a super secret hint. It just did not happen. So I think it's probably his whole life. Well, like the raid to his house, I guarantee they thought they were coming in and going to get half of his vault, and they got like 2 or 3 items, and they were very small items. So I think his whole life he's had those kind of things.
That's the reason to put those 2 coins in the box.
To get him out of his house. Nice.
And let's not have his children and family have to deal with the lawyers and the media that would go along. And where did you get them from? I'm going to put them in the box there out there on BLM land somewhere. Yeah, I think that was his intention. And then this thing blew up. Like you said, Dorothy Massey lit a fuse to the bomb. I think it took off way more than he thought. I think this really went stratospheric on him here.
Could be. Well, 45 minutes flew by, so let's
We got to make these longer, but go ahead.
No, but this is the part in the program where we're going to move away from content. And if you do not enjoy hearing about maps, coins, Vegas poker tournaments, and all the other fun stuff we would discuss, you are welcome to shut down the chat, and we wish you a very wonderful good night. But the rest of you that might want to hear a couple of things going on, we will talk a little bit about. Mike, did you want to give an update on map?
Well, breaking news. I just listed Agua Fria Peak on eBay because that is the only map that we have of Agua Fria Peak. So I just put the listing up. So it's up there if anybody's interested. And I just put the link in the chat. Why?
I can't bid on that many maps.
That's true. The other one is up as well, which was Ojo Caliente is up, and now Agua Fria Peak. We thought it would be fun to list them while we're live because the auction will end next week while we're live on Monday and Thursday, so we'll be able to watch it. So if anybody's interested, it's there. It's for 2 maps. You do get a coin. You get the certificate. You get the Forrest Fenn story, and it's just like the other one. But as far as maps, all I can say is if you've emailed me and I haven't emailed you back yet, I will get to it. It's just this has taken a lot longer than I ever imagined it was going to. Because these maps are so big, when I have to pull it, I've got to do stacks. It's not like I have one big stack and I can look through and pull it out. The maps are so heavy, it'll rip. So I've got to put things on the floor and on the oven and on the couch and everywhere. And the other thing is the inventory. They're not in order. When somebody took them out of the racks, they didn't keep them in order. So I kind of have to go through and kind of find where these things are. Cynthia, that's right. So it's just taken me longer than I ever thought it was going to, but I will get to it. So far, I sent 3 out. 3 orders went out in the mail today, and I emailed those people their tracking numbers. I've probably got 40 emails of people wanting maps, and I'm slowly working my way through them. So just give me time. And again, you'll get the map you want if it's available, because the order of those emails is the order that I fulfill the orders. So don't think, oh, he hasn't emailed me back in a week, my map's not going to be available. It'll still be available whether I email you today or a month from now, because of the order that I'm doing them in. So I'll get to it, everybody. I'll get to
and
it.
I'll give up a little secret. So Mike always, we like to do a little side bet because he's Mr. Vegas and I like to bet because I'm competitive. And our over under was in the first week, could we sell 25 maps? And Mike took the over and I took the under. So I got
Yeah.
mutilated. Like, it's already over, it's done. So I owe you a dinner next time I'm in Vegas.
All right, I'll take you up on that too. So
I thought the bet was going to be on what the map's going to sell for on eBay.
Oh, that's our next one.
that
That'll
I
have
have
to be
no
our next
idea. I really have no idea. I'm surprised
Yeah,
it
no
shot up
idea.
as high as it did already. So
We
And
thought a good
Really?
bet was 25 and we're 40 within the night. Now there's more coming in. And so we're actually not going to market a lot until
yeah, I
Mike
want to
can
get through
fix
these
them.
orders, and then once I'm caught up, I'll be like, hey, who wants to buy a map?
I think if you could get Forrest Fenn to sign Ojo Caliente, it might even bring more. Hint, hint.
Maybe a
Yeah,
little
we're-
stick figure running to a certain area on that map. Wouldn't that be interesting?
Yeah, we're done. We're done.
Yeah,
Let's
no,
move on.
I'm not going to bother Forrest.
All right.
So somebody wanted to know how many coins have gone out, because we have 200 of the silver 2019 coins, and it's only about, this is off the top of my head, but it's only like 50. So don't think you're going to miss out on the coin. Get your order in, and there's still a lot of coins available. So remember, for every 2 maps you order, you will get one of those coins. So when we're getting close to running out, I'll post it and I'll let everybody know, because I want everybody, especially the people who didn't get a chance to get the copper one, to have a chance to get the silver one. So
Yeah. So, okay, so let's talk real quick about poker tournaments, because some people are asking. I'm going to post this up on Thor as well. We have set the date. It is locked in 100%. January 26th, Saturday, 7 p.m.
Yep.
That is the poker tournament. It is open to the public because it has to be legally. But what they're going to do is keep a shorter window, and we will get the exact times. But I think it's going to be like the hour before, and that is going to be the only window of time to sign up in. But we need you to RSVP. And the reason for it is if we have over 20 people, we need to know so they can get extra dealers there so our tournament doesn't get screwed up. So I'm asking you to, Mike has maps to worry about. I will be the RSVP person for, if you're planning to come to the poker tournament, you don't even need to tell me your real name. Just say Davio 22 for 2 or 1 or 3 or however many.
Yeah.
And that'll just get us a good idea of the number of people that are coming. So just shoot me an email real quick and just tell me if you're coming and how many people you think you're going to be bringing actually in the tournament. I don't care if they're coming to Vegas. That'll be nice to know later. I need to know how many are actually playing in the tournament.
And again, it's going to be at Bally's, which is right at Flamingo and the Las Vegas Boulevard, right? Center Strip. Saturday, 7 p.m., January 26th, $60 is the buy-in. You go to you're not paying me or K-Pro. You go to the casino. It's a tournament just like they normally run their tournaments. They're going to pay out the money just like they normally do. We don't have anything to do with that. All we did was tell them, hey, we want to have a tournament for our people for the World Series of Fenn, but they're going to run it, and they're not changing it for us. Okay, $60, and I believe you can buy in again within the first hour and a half if you get knocked out.
Until the first break, which is like at the end of round 6. It is Texas Hold'em.
No limit, Texas Hold'em.
Limit.
If you don't know how to play, it's all right. The dealers are there to help you. Just come in and have fun. I mean, that's why we're really there, is to have fun. The casino is going to pay out all the money, and the places are based on the number of players we have. So we can't say right now they're going to pay out 5 places. It depends how many people are in the tournament. But what are we giving away for the first place prize, Christy?
Well, I actually have in my hot little hands 2 items. So we are going to announce those 2, and I've worked another 2, but since they're in shipping right now. So until I get them in my hands, I'm not going to announce them. So we are going to put silver search coin number 2 into the poker tournament at this. Well, and then the other item is right there, WWWH, which is
the big one or the little one?
Hey,
the little one.
The little one.
Christy,
Okay.
Christy, grab it and hold it close to the camera for a second.
Are you going to tell everybody, Dan?
Yeah, I'm going to give away something real quick tonight.
So first place, silver coin number 2. Remember, Forrest Fenn owns number 1. Whoever wins that tournament, and I hope it's me, they're going to get silver coin number 2. Second place, this is in addition to the money the casino is going to pay out. Take it away, Dan.
Ooh, my glare is bad for my.
See, now that you said it, Dan, yeah, I can see it. That's right. Just turn it a little bit,
right.
Chris, like that. Yeah.
That.
That's
Yeah.
cool, man.
Where
All right,
Warm
you
Waters
guys-
Halt is the name of the piece, right?
Genius.
All right. Well, yeah, War Waters Halt is the name of the piece. If she's still holding, I can't see Christy right now, but
Keep turning it.
Yeah,
if it's
keep
still
turning it back and
can you
forth,
see-
Christy, like this. Yeah, there
There
you go.
you go. There you go,
Yeah,
Vanna
there-
White.
in the sky behind the tree, there's an F. There's a ground
Ah.
F.
So right below the sun, yeah, he put an F in every piece. Look, kind of hidden.
If you-
Isn't that cool?
Yeah. If you
Right.
bought a piece, take a look at your piece. There is an F in it. It took me a while, but, and I got figured out how to do it, and I put it in all of them. So
Yeah. Well, and so that piece is in. It's 03 is
Mhm.
in the tournament.
That'll go to second
And we're not
place.
well, we don't know yet because
Oh,
if
we
I can
don't?
get
Oh,
some
okay.
of well, depending on the items we can get, we'll have to figure out.
Okay. Yeah,
like,
so they'll be in.
Search
The order may change, right? Okay.
Yes. So at this point, we've secured 2 items. So it's WWWH number 3, I have it, and then Search Coin 2 of the silver plated Search
Mhm.
Coins. And then there's 2 items that are in work, and hopefully we'll announce those.
I don't
but we're
even
not
know about
taking-
those, so that's great. I don't even know what those are.
2 can keep a secret.
That's right. That's right.
So, I don't want to get anybody's hopes up until I actually get them. So we will see if those pan out. But if there's any other items right now, I can just tell you we want extra items there. It would be great. But we're not making a profit from them. This is just fun stuff that we're
Right.
putting just to add into the tournament. But we do want to try to get T-shirts if we have enough people. If you have an idea for WSOF and you want to put a T-shirt design and email me that, we'll take those until the end of the year. And if we have enough interest and enough people in the tournament, we'll figure out if we're going to do a T-shirt or not. So if you have, there's some really creative artists, and we have a couple.
Yep.
Right here on the
So
panel.
question on that. Question about that. Somebody reached out to me and said they want to do a design for the T-shirt contest, but they want to win one of the silver coins without the sequence number. They wanted to know if that could be the prize. Instead of a copper coin, which you're doing giveaways with your copper coins, they want to know if a silver coin without the sequence number could be the prize for the winner of the T-shirt design contest. What do you think?
Maybe. I think we should talk about that. Let's not do this off the cuff. Maybe.
Oh, okay. It's just an idea. They wanted to know.
I mean, it sounds good, but then it's like, well, I just think, what is the unintended? I mean, I always like to say yes, and then
Yeah. All right, we'll think about it, and we'll let everybody know on the next show, which will be Monday. We'll have a decision by Monday.
Okay,
But it'll definitely be a copper coin, if not the silver. That is for the contest, the T-shirt contest, right?
Well, somebody asked me about a map.
Oh.
Did they have a map instead? So maybe we talk and say maybe any of the 3 to whoever wins it.
Oh, they have
Like
their
if they want a
choice. Oh, I
soccer
got
board,
you.
if they
That's
want
actually a good idea. Yeah. Okay.
I come up with them every now and then. If I get more than 3 seconds to think about it.
All right.
Okay. So, okay, so it's at Bally's. It's Texas Hold'em.
$60 buy-in.
$60 buy-in. Some people did ask, are we going to make a whole weekend event to it? Probably, but let us figure out the poker tournament first. We'll probably have something Saturday at lunch.
Yeah,
and just
dinner
make it
or something.
informal. Dinner the night before.
Where are we
people
going
around,
after the
kind of thing.
tournament? But here's the deal. We need to know how many people in order to plan any of that. We can't just
Right.
plan somewhere and then we have 30 people show up. So we really need you to RSVP, guys. We really need you to tell us if you're for sure going to be there by the end of the year, by January 1, you think?
I think by January 1. Yeah, because I can tell you at the Jamie drawing, when all of us went to that after
Right.
party,
The blue
it was
corn?
hard
Oh,
to
the
get
after
some of us
party.
in.
Right.
We had to there was some little bit of payment to the bouncers to get us all in together. So we don't want to have to do that. So we want to organize it beforehand. So anyway, let's see. Okay, so Search Code 2 T-shirt. I talked about contest for the T-shirt design. Need an approximate count. Email me. Okay, I think I went through all of those individual items. Okay, so other questions? Let's see. We'll think about that. I think.
So we do need to update the list of maps because I've probably got 15 that are no longer available. So we need to decide how we're going to do that. I don't know if you can just in that same thread on Thor at the bottom, just put the new list. But
no,
we'll have to.
I know the person that owns that site, so she'll be able to take it off and then put it.
Oh, you can update it. Okay, perfect. So I'll send you the updated list, and you can update it. So yeah, if anybody's where the maps are going pretty quick, actually, we probably sold 70 maps or something, just in 2 days. What have we been doing this for? 2 or 3 days. So yeah, Yeah, it's
when you
going pretty
said
good.
number of emails do not equal the
Oh,
number
no,
of
no.
orders.
There's people that are
Some
buying
people.
multiple maps, and maybe they're buying them to resell them. Maybe they're buying them to put on eBay. Maybe they're buying them
we
for
don't.
gifts. Doesn't matter to me why you buy them. You know the set price. You know there's the
Right.
coin. Once you get it, you do with them what you want. So
Okay, so questions on anything that we talked about tonight? We're in our last couple of minutes. So we have Vegas tournament. We have the maps that'll continue to go out, and
Yeah.
I do want to say we apologize. We literally thought like 25 would be a really. That's why we put the over under bet. 25 would be a really good, and then it turned out to be factors over that.
Yeah.
So Mike's going to get to him as much as he can, but he has his boys this weekend. He has
and I
a
definitely got to
job.
put them away because I don't want them to to get messed up. So
Or they could have crayons
and
on
if you
them,
guys have
so.
seen the bathtub, you know it's in the boys' bathtub right now. So
Oh boy, oh
Yeah.
boy.
Mhm.
Yeah, so coins are still available at this point. Other questions? Let's see. Is there anything that I have not seen in here?
Dan,
Okay.
you got something?
Yeah, real quick.
Yeah.
I want to plug number 80 of Where Warm Waters Halt is on eBay, and I pulled it off of the Buy It Now and took that one specific as for a bid. You can go bid on it. All the money is going to one of our searchers that I know him a little bit. I bought some coins from him. He's got a sister-in-law had a brain aneurysm, and the family could use some extra cash, which is why he sold his coins, and I bought them. But so all the money from from number 80 is going to him. So go bid it up. It's at 165 right now. So just go to eBay, type in Forrest Fenn, it will come up. There's a few other things on there, some maps and some coins.
If I can look it up real quick, I'll post the link. You say it's
Okay.
piece 80, right? Where Warm Waters Halt, number 80?
Yep, it says
Okay.
in the description, it says number 80 of Where Warm Waters Halt.
I'm looking for it right
Inspired by
now.
Thrill of the Chase by Forrest Fenn.
Gotcha. Right now it's at
And-
165. I think we could do better than that. So I'm going to post a link right now. And it's for a good cause, right?
There's something unique about this piece. It's a mirror image of all the others. The trees are on the left hand rather than the right hand. Just a small little thing I did to make it different, make it maybe a little more collectible if they ever become collectible.
Does your hidden F go the wrong way, the other way, or is it the right way?
No, the F still goes to the F goes.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I wasn't going to get into that.
Fenn Masters asked, why did Fenn pick the maps he chose to release? I will tell you, I heard this from Shiloh. If you saw, Jenny put a story out today. This is the entire collection of maps he has. He has some onesie twosies in other areas, but his collection came from Utah, Colorado, and New Mexico. So he does not have Wyoming, Montana. He does not have other maps of that search area. I mean, he has some stuff in his den and stuff, but he does like major collection. This is the only major collection that he had. I'm sure there's a great story of how he got them. I just don't have.
And if you guys are wondering, well, what's going on with eBay? What we're doing is, if there's only one copy of a popular search location, we're going to put it on eBay. We figure that's a fair way for everybody to be able to bid on it. If we have multiple copies of a popular search location, when we get down to one copy left, we will most likely put that on eBay. And there's about maybe 4 or 5, I think, maybe 5 that it's just me and Christy going, what do you think people would really want? Ojo Caliente, Agua Fria, Peak, and there's a couple others. So.
Well, it was funny because the people that kept emailing me constantly about, do you have this one? Do you have this one? They were themed, and Ojo Caliente got a ton.
Right.
There was Agua Fria, there was Chama, there was Heron, there was like, and those became the magic ones of what, if I've gotten requests by 4 or 5 people before we even started, we better put at least one on eBay. But Heron's a great example. Heron's going to be one of them, but also there was 4 others. And so the 4 people got them if they ordered quick. But then if one person, when we really do the marketing of this and they see it and they want it, then they can buy it on eBay. So we did a little bit of a mix when we had a couple of them, but the one like Ojo Caliente, that was absolutely a no-brainer.
Because I've already
Ojo Caliente and just one. I mean,
because I already had people be like, well, I was at work when you guys went live and I didn't even see it till the next day, and now all the maps are going to be gone. So we just thought this would be a fair way for, if you really want it, it's there type thing. And so Monday, the Ojo Caliente auction is going to end while we're live on Monday. So everybody tune in. I want to see how high it goes. I've had 2 or 3 people say they are going to win that auction. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we will see how that
Yeah.
goes. So, and no, we are not an after party party sled neck, so we are not getting into that.
Yeah, we
discussion.
thought we weren't going to do the abduction anymore. We're on for an hour, hour and a half. That's good.
No,
And somebody
yeah,
just said, was that really a picture of Cynthia for her birthday?
that's the one I'm saying. We are not an after party.
Oh, I'm
We are
sorry.
not.
Hey,
Right.
Cynthia posted it.
I
Hey.
do. We are not.
Everybody should go check out Cynthia's blog if you want to see a side of Cynthia you've never seen before. That's all I'll say.
What side would that be? Exactly?
Yeah, well, I'm no comment.
Profile?
Yeah, you don't
No
need to put the
comment.
link in and go.
Right.
Cynthia, happy birthday. You are
Happy
wonderful.
birthday, Cynthia.
Happy birthday, Cynthia.
Yeah. And actually, she the newest blog, which I'm sure is what everybody's talking about, is when she went boots on the ground yesterday and she got turned away. So she
Oh.
come home, settled down, no more
Yeah,
because
search season's over, right?
Search season, she's got a hot solve going on, so she feels strongly about it. So good for you that you're that passionate, but no, stay home and be safe and have a margarita on me.
So if anybody, I'm just going to put this.
Looking?
I don't know. She's up there north. She gave up on New Mexico, isn't that right?
Yeah, I thought it was Montana
Yeah.
or Wyoming. Wasn't that where she was at?
I don't know where though.
She's
She's
up
all
north. I
over,
don't-
knowing her.
I
She's
just don't-
everywhere.
She's told me some stuff. I just don't know if it's out. So
I know she sold somebody bought all of her maps. I don't know.
Oh,
who it
that's
was.
right. Have you found
Actually,
any
not
clues there,
all of her
Dan?
maps, just the New Mexico ones, right?
Well, just yeah. I mean, that's what I heard, anyways. I don't.
You got any plans with those? You gonna put those on eBay, or are you keeping them,
Or both.
or both, Dan?
We'll see. We'll see.
All right.
The way I look at it is, she finds the treasure chest, and I own her maps with her signatures on them. I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, and you got a certificate, right, of authenticity?
I got a certificate.
Smart guy.
No, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
So somebody actually asked me to sign their map that they ordered. So I thought that was pretty cool, and it definitely
that
a
is
surprise. So I will. That was pretty cool.
I have a Thrill of the Chase book where it's quite a few signatures. It's almost like a yearbook.
Yeah, that's a great
Remember
idea.
he passed it around during the Jamie drawing.
I'm doing that at the poker tournament. Everybody who shows up, I'm gonna have you sign my Thrill of the Chase yearbook, and we're gonna write World Series of Fenn, in it. So that'll be fun. Definitely.
No, that'd be cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and hopefully if we get a couple of the items that we're trying to get, it will, not everybody will walk home with something, but it won't just be the one, because, that it's just the first place.
Should I even put this out there, Christy? If anybody has an awesome item that they would like to be in the poker tournament, should they contact you to see if they can donate it or not? I don't know if we should do that or not, because we know what happened the last time we put that out there. There was a certain drawing we did, and
wouldn't it be cool to get 70 items though, and everybody walks away with something?
Would we have 70 players? So if you have something you would like to put in the World Series of Fenn, contact Christy, and she will decide. She's the person that's going to decide.
Oh, thank you.
If it's in or not.
Yeah, you're just getting me back for all the math
gotta
work
be,
too.
it's got to be super awesome though.
How about a Forrest Fenn deck of cards? So the back is Forrest Fenn or Thrill of the Chase.
I bought it actually.
Bill Gorman has some of those.
Bill Gorman.
The Fanatic thing, I think. Yeah,
Is
people
that
have thought of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cool ideas floating around. You never know what might pop up.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we've gotten through everything we have tonight. So we will be back Monday. We're going to continue the panels. So we will do the same thing as we did before, is we will anchor around content. And if you are someone that would like to jump on YouTube, there is a link or a email list that I send out and say, who wants to be on the panel?
Yeah.
And it's kind of first come, first serve. And we actually had one drop out today, and then Copper Dan, I was like, any chance? And, so some people were like, I didn't check my email until the last second. Sorry. I tried to get it out a few days beforehand, but actually the person just had a work emergency. And so they were already on the panel. So and sometimes when we don't have panels, Mike and I can chit chat away. So, so we'll make whatever work, but we'd love to see more of the community out. So if you're interested, I think it would be great to have you on. So just send me your email. And if you're interested in coming on, and that would be super cool. So,
and if you've never ever been on YouTube before, I invite you to try it because it's fun. Just come on here and we'll talk about the Forrest Fenn and Thrill of the Chase.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll go around the room one more time and just who we are and where you can find us. And so K-Pro, Hint of Riches, and I hang out with Mike here on his panel. So Davio.
Davio22 on YouTube. You can come see a couple of videos, look at some arts, contact me through that. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Copper Dan.
All right, I'm Copper Dan. You can find me on Forrest Fenns Marvel Gaze on Facebook. It's just a small little forum, but I'm working on it. We're discussing the book. If you want to look at my art, go to copperelements.info. Don't go to .com. I don't own that yet. It's .info. Yeah, and go on eBay. You can find all kinds of stuff on there for me.
And the map guy. Right.
Yeah, everybody buy a map. I want them out of my apartment and I want them out of my life. If you guys don't know, I ordered 250 of these map tubes that are back here, and I didn't realize how many boxes those would come in. So now I have 10 huge boxes. So I really need these to get rid of these. So if you're going to order some, please do. And I will get to it. Don't be upset if you're like, I ordered one 5 days ago. I will get to it. It's just taking me a long time to do this.
We're gonna see you with paddles pounding on these things like that. Those what is that?
Your boys are going to have a blast.
That act in Vegas where they're pounding on the
Oh,
tubes.
right. The Blue Man Group with the
The Blue
drums.
Man
Yeah.
Group.
Blue Man
Cow
Group.
Man Group is gonna
I may do something with the boys this weekend and record it. I'm sure they're going to play with the tubes and stuff. They won't play with the maps. I'm going to put the maps away. But
Well, the tubes versus Copper Dan's piece. I can attest. Don't let those two worlds come together.
fenmaps@gmail.com if you want to order a map. And you can go to the Hint of Riches forum and you will see the updated list of what's available.
Yeah,
So-
and if you have questions or comments or anything like that. So, and the new eBay's up, right?
Yeah. Ojo Caliente and Agua Fria Peak are both on eBay now. You get two maps. You're bidding on the one, but once the auction ends, you get to select of the remaining maps. You get to pick the second one that you want. You get the coin. You get the certificate. The Forrest Fenn story, a lot of people are like, are you ever going to show it? Are you ever going to show it? I think whoever gets these in the mail is probably going to show it first. Somebody's going to post it, or somebody's going to make a video on it, and that's fine. This is not a new story. This is a story that's been around. I just don't think it's been posted too many places. So you guys will see it eventually.
Yeah. So, well, and thanks everybody. It's been a fun night, and we will see you on Monday, same time, same channel, because we're focused here now. Thank you, everybody.
All
And
right,
congrats
everybody.
Mike, on 2,000.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for 2,000 subscribers. See you Monday, everybody.